Welcome to Catholic Party for America. Today I'm going to tell you a story, a true story, about a very holy and courageous priest. History we were never told in American history or in Catechism Class, especially if you come from the Midwest or the Rocky Mountain region. I'm going to be reading to you somewhat from the piece by Catholicism.org, their essay from June 5th, 2008, The Apostle of the Rocky Mountains, Father Pierre-Jean de Smet, Jesuit. Let me read the opening page to you. Contemporary historians are inclined to classify the efforts of the early Jesuits in this country as being essentially exploratory. The truth is that these noble sons of St. Ignatius explored our untamed regions simply to bring the message of salvation to heathen souls. Father Jacques Marquette did discover the mighty Mississippi River, for example, but he then used it as means of finding pagan tribes along its shores. It was always with this driving ambition that these holy men abandoned the comfort and security of life in the European homelands to venture into the uncharted American wilderness, bringing the faith and the sacraments to thousands upon thousands of Indians. Their work, so much akin to that of the apostles, has even won the admiration of men like George Bancroft, the Protestant historian. He noted, "The history of their labors is connected with the origin of every celebrated town in the annals of French America. Not a cape was turned, nor a river entered, but a Jesuit led the way." One of these, one of those who braved the dangers of the New World hintered lands was the tireless Pierre de Smet. He was a Belgian of such great physical strength that even as a boy he had been nicknamed Samson. Pierre was a seminarian when, in 1821, he volunteered for the missionary work. He was one of six who were chosen to accompany two priests on their voyage to this country. They arrived at Philadelphia 42 days later and proceeded to the Jesuit novitiate at White Marsh, near Washington, D.C. A year later, young de Smet and 11 other Jesuit pupils set out on foot for Florence, Missouri. Here, aided by St. Rose Philippine Duchesne, with the Sisters of the Sacred Heart, they established a Jesuit province. Pierre took his vows in 1827 at Florence, and the following year came to St. Louis, where he helped to found St. Louis University, even assisting in quarrying the building stones. Excuse me. But Father de Smet's eyes had always been drawn westward, his heart yearning to be among the pagan Indians of those distant and barely explored regions. His dream was to conquer their souls, and his spirit was ever restless with that ambition. Having seen the white man's inhumanity and treachery in his dealings with many of the American natives, and the sordid effects of the fire water that he had brought into their world, the holy Belgian was eager to reach the savages of the West before white civilization did, for in so doing he could make some restitution for the injustices already inflicted against the eastern tribes and help safeguard others who had not yet been contaminated by the liquor and immorality of the advancing frontier traders. It was a great joy to the good Jesuit, therefore, when the Council of Baltimore assigned the Indian missions of the United States to the Fathers of the Society of Jesus. In 1836, he was sent to found a mission among the Potawatomis on Sugar Creek. Soon a little chapel was raised and a school opened. Many, including the sick, came from miles around to learn the faith and be baptized. Overcrowding at the mission was at least the problems for Father de Smet and his spiritual charges. The Potawatomis were living in terror of the mighty Sioux, who for years were threatening to wipe out their little tribe. The brave priest decided to journey into the distant territory of the fearsome warriors and plead on behalf of the Potawatomis. Not only did he secure a lasting peace with the Sioux through his trusted sincerity and gifted diplomacy, but he also took the occasion to instruct their leaders in the faith and to baptize many of the children. The Indians are grateful for his sacrifices in this regard, a fact which made his good reputation grow among the various tribes in the Midwest. This reputation would make his name widely known on 2 continents and would establish him as the most important missionary in America. Pierre de Smet in many ways typified his courageous and pious Jesuit forerunners on the American frontier. These early missionaries, accepting certain martyrdom at the hands of the red men, eagerly ventured forth to offer their lives in exchange for the occasional conversion of a soul. By such sacrifices, they had brought the Iroquois and the Hurons to embrace Catholicism, and these in turn had shared the creed of redemption with other tribes of the Indian world as they were forced westward. Two such tribes were the Flatheads and the Nez Perces, who were destined to play an important role in the missionary career of Father de Smet. So I want to tell you about the Flatheads. They are in Montana and Wyoming. Now, if you talk to Catholics in those states, they say, you don't have many Catholics there. Again, this history was never taught, was never shared. And for sure, the evil modern Jesuits of today would not want Father de Smet's history known, or it would make them look bad. The modern Jesuits today with their evil anti-Catholicism teaching. hmm So let me tell you about the Flatheads now. This is going to be interesting for you. But the Flatheads were by far the most virtuous of the North American Indians. Even Lewis and Clark, having witnessed the widespread degeneracy among many of the red men, spoke among the many of the red men nations, spoke highly of the honor of the Flatheads. It must be cited as an exemption. This is the only tribe that has any idea of chastity. Ever since this noble people had scarcely learned of the faith from the Iroquois, the Flatheads determinedly had sought to find a Jesuit, a black robe, to give them deeper spiritual instruction and bring them the sacraments. In fact, the quest became an obsession for them. Several times they had dispatched small expeditions to travel thousands of miles in search of a black robe, risking death from enemy tribes. On one such expedition to St. Louis, when four emissaries made their arrival, all went immediately into the church and prostrated themselves before the Blessed Sacrament. The other two sadly had to return home with the news that no priest could be spared for missionary work in their dangerously distant Rocky Mountain encampment. If you were a priest back then in St. Louis, you saw that faith, how could you tell them no priest was available? When in fact, that was what Father de Smet wanted. And surely the priest of that parish knew about Father de Smet, yet turned them to go home anyways. Mm-hmm. In 1839, two Catholic Iroquois came upon Father de Smet at his Potawatomi mission. The Christian names are Pierre Gachet and young Ignatius, after Saint Ignatius of Loyola, founder of the Society of Jesus. They had been living for 23 years among the Flatheads, guiding them in the faith. Father de Smet wrote of them in his journal. I have never seen any savages so fervent in religion. By their instructions and examples, they have given all that the nation, the Flatheads, a great desire to have themselves baptized. All that tribe strictly observes Sunday and assemble themselves several times a week to pray and sing the canticles. The sole object of these good Iroquois was to obtain a priest to come and finish what they had so happily commenced. The missionary added, with tears in their eyes, they begged me to return with them. I would willingly give my life to help these Indians. Essentially, this is what the good priest did. For having received permission from his superior, he set out to preach to the Flatheads and Nez Perce, thereupon beginning his 40-year career among the great Indian nations of the Northwest. Pierre Gachet, one of the two Iroquois, had pleaded the cause of the Flatheads. Father de Smet had been so ecstatic over having at least secured a priest for the tribe that he had raced off to bring the joyous news to his adopted people, leaving young Ignace alone to lead the Jesuit on this long trek. When the Smet and his companions were still several hundred miles from their destination, they were delightfully surprised to meet a party of Flatheads that had come out to escort the esteemed visitor. Upon his approach to the encampment, the tribe received their long awaited black robe, as though the Savior himself had come to them. Rushing out to him with outstretched arms and with tears streaming down their cheeks, Father de Smet was led to Chief Big Face, who addressed him with this greeting: Black robe, you are welcome in my nation. Today, Kiliul, our Father has fulfilled our wishes. Our hearts are big, and for our greatest desire is gratified. You are in the midst of a poor and rude people, plunged in the darkness of ignorance. I have always exhorted my children to love Kilu. We know that everything belongs to him, and that our whole dependence is upon his liberal hand. Now, Father, speak, and we will comply with all you tell us. Show us the road we have to follow in order to come to the place where the Great Spirit resides. Black robe, we will follow the words of your mouth. Then the black robe did speak, teaching them prayers, teaching them about the Blessed Mother, telling them of the sacred passion of our Lord. And as he did so, those touching emotions he had witnessed at that time of his arrival were now even more in evidence among his new spiritual children. Many were soon baptized, including Chief Big Face, who took the Christian name of Paul, and his wife took the name of Agnes, in honor of the Virgin Martyr of Rome. Others would have to wait until the spring when Father could come again to complete their religious instruction, for he had to return to St. Louis before winter set in. Chief Paul gave his beautiful and moving farewell to the departing spiritual father. Black robe, may the Great Spirit accompany you on your long and dangerous journey. Morning and night we'll pray that you may safely reach your brothers in St. Louis. You will continue to pray thus until you return to your children of the mountains. When the snows of winter have disappeared from the valleys, and the first green of spring begins to appear, our hearts, which are now so sad, will once more rejoice. As the meadow's grass grow higher and higher, we will go forth to meet you. Farewell, Black Robe. Farewell. Mhm. These flatheads, these Catholic Native American tribes, are so beautiful, still so Catholic. More Catholic than us. And they have been led astray by the bad Jesuits, and also led astray by the Democrats and Republicans, because no one before us had ever wanted to set up a Catholic political party. We're all Christians, Catholic, Protestant, Orthodox, could join, plus people of goodwill. To our brothers and sisters in the faith in these Native American tribes of the Flatheads and all these other Catholic um, tribes in New York, Idaho, Wyoming, wherever Father de Smet went, brought you the faith. We are here now. We ask you to join us. We will represent the faith that Father de Smet brought to you. We will defend it and promote it and restore your great heritage. Restore this great faith. And hopefully, through this political party, we can do what is needed for a very long time for his spiritual children. Get him, Father de Smet, and those who came when he wrote to them from St. Louis, that came from Europe to help him bring the faith. Father Anton, Father Ravelli, and other people who came to join Father de Smet in this important work. And one day we can promote their causes as a political party to get them raised to the altars of St. Peter and canonized get their stories told properly. So, to the Flathead Nation, to all the Catholic Native Americans, I'm not done telling some awesome history here, but I want to give a shout out to all of you. We are here now. We are in 24 states. So far, no white man Catholic has joined up in Montana or Wyoming. We would be so honored to have you represent Montana, Wyoming, those in St. Mary's, Idaho, at the St. Mary's Mission, and in Smet, Idaho. Join us. um, Hopefully you have a way yet to have internet. I don't really know the conditions of the reservations, tribe areas up there. I know from living in this area, there are a lot of dead zones for our cell phones and such. So please go to, if you can, CatholicPartyForAmerica.com. That is, as you see it down on the screen here, CatholicPartyForAmerica.com. And go to the join page and send us a message to you great chiefs of these Catholic tribes. It'd be an honor and a pleasure for you to join us. You have a place that will represent you, that will honor you, and defend your heritage and your faith. So please, to those Catholic Indian nations, join us. All right, let's get back to some history. And some Marian apparitions that you didn't know that happened. Uh-huh. So, Mary appears. Yep. So, manifesting her pleasure with and tender love for her new children, the Blessed Mother appeared to them on at least two occasions. Once in a teepee to a little boy, who described a lady in a strange robe, standing on a serpent that held an apple in its mouth, and again to a 12-year-old girl as she was dying. How beautiful! I see the heavens opening, and the Mother of God is calling me to come. Turning to those around her, the child said, "Heed what the black robe tells you, for they speak the truth. In honor of Our Lady's great blessings upon them, the Flatheads organized the first Indian Society of the Blessed Virgin, serving as its president." Now, I want to caution you all about what Our Lady said, because the black robes today are not the faithful servants of Saint Ignatius. They teach error, they teach heresy. There are a few good ones, but they are remaining silent so not to get in trouble with the anti-Catholics who run the order. What our Blessed Mother said was to remain faithful to the black robes, such as Father de Smet and those that came from Europe to join him, Father Ravalli, and the lay brothers that came with him. Yeah. So those are the black robes Our Lady's talking about. So, in other words, remain faithful to what Father de Smet and his missionaries brought to the Native Americans. Because Our Lady would not say that today about the current modern Society of Jesus, which is not the Society of Jesus, but the Society of the Antichrist. Had to say it out there. Father de Smet, Father Ravalli, those who brought the faith to the Native Americans, those are the Jesuits to be promoted. Those are the Jesuits to look up to. Those are the real Jesuits. Same with North American martyrs. Those martyrs of the Mississippi River. Okay, moving on. I want to. Let me see here. I don't want to give it all away. And I'm going to look for his journal. And I'll post links to it if I can in the show page. Because we need to know, we need to read everything about him. I want to finish up this last little bit in the back of this. When writing to the people of the United States in 1895, Pope Leo XIII observed, "The names newly given to so many of your towns and rivers and lakes teach and clearly witness how deeply your beginnings were marked with the footprints of the Catholic Church. The Apostle of the Rockies wanted America to be a Catholic nation, and he left his own footprints all across its vast expanse to make it so. Thank you, Black Robe. Your children are grateful. May your big heart rejoice in the place where the Great Spirit resides." Now, that part about making America a Catholic nation also goes with what St. Brendan and the angel said when they arrived at the shores, the shores of New York or Connecticut, around there. So this would be the island of the saints. Then Padre Pio said, "America will become a Catholic nation." And Pope Leo XIII wrote that in 1895 about Father de Smet. Yeah, so we have big shoes to fill, all you members in 24 states of the Catholic Party for America. I hope you are recruiting, doing some good work for the party. I have not heard back from you in a long while. If you can, spare a moment, report in either in the comments of the video on YouTube or Rumble, or please email the party's email address. Let us know how things are going, or please contact the right on the Facebook page post wall. And to those potential members who wanting us to leave Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, why should we run from the fight? Why should we run away and flee and leave Catholics who are still on those platforms, who are waking up to the truth? Why should we abandon those souls who are now looking for a place that they can call their own and have a political party of their own? We will not leave those Catholics. We will not abandon them to the wolves. We will stay in the breach. We will stay because there are still Catholic souls on these platforms, and we'll use these platforms as they were intended. So if you do not join us because of that, then we do not want you. We are here to give Catholics a place they can call their own, a place where they will be represented, and a place and a party they can vote for every year there are elections. And once again, to the Catholic Native American tribes of the Rocky Mountain region, and even of the Catholic Iroquois, we welcome you to Catholic Party for America. We invite you to join. We will honor your heritage. We will respect it. And we want to restore that forgotten heritage that is no longer taught in American history classes or catechism classes. And to the one Catholic actor who follows me on Twitter, hey dude, when you get done with the action movie with Bruce Willis, get a copy of this essay on Father de Smet. Get together some Catholic actors, Catholic producers, Catholic directors. We need a life story, a movie of Father Pierre-Jean de Smet. Come on, man. We need Catholic movies today. Make it happen, please. And yeah, you can get a copy of this on the show page. And if you are Hispanic, we got permission to translate this into Spanish for you. And it's in PDF form for you. Just click the link and download it. Yeah. And please read it. And I want to thank all members who have joined the party so far in 24 states. I want to thank our new member from Massachusetts for signing up. And please share. Please share this video. It'll be on YouTube and Rumble. And yeah, that's it. God bless America. God save the Republic.